So last year I've made a couple of videos about the price per piece problem with Lego and of course the inflation that we kind of find ourselves with at the moment regarding Lego and sort of the ever increasing price that we seem to be paying for Lego sets. And I've done a couple of videos about those. You might want to go and check those out after this video. Please do drop a like on this video, it'll be sincerely appreciated. And if you're new here, do consider subscribing as well. Let's dive right into it because you've probably seen a Lord of the Rings thumbnail and you're probably thinking this is a Lord of the Rings video, and it is of course going to be about the new Lord of the Rings Bag End Shire Icon set, which is releasing on April the 1st. And this set has caused a little bit of controversy over the last couple of days, and that's because we initially thought this would be a $200 set, making it a £180 set here in the UK. It does look as though it's going to be a $270 set, which I would put a good fiver on it being £240 rather than £235, which it could of course be. So ironically, I'd probably bet a fiver that it's going to be £240. And you need to go back 13 years since we've seen a Shire set. An Unexpected Gathering was released in 2012. This had 652 pieces. It had 6 minifigs, and at the time it was £60 or $70 US. And this video isn't sponsored by the Bank of England inflation calculator, but I have used it for the purpose of this video, and that means that a £60 back in 2012 would actually be £87 here, nearly £88 in 2025. And that's quite an interesting one, purely because if we're going on the price per piece problem, the Avengers Age of Ultron set that came out last year, which was £90, had a similar price per piece kind of problem, had a very similar piece count, albeit it had more figures. And that was considered to be sort of bad value. Fast forward to 2025, we're going to get the Bag End Shire Icon set, and this will be 2017 pieces with 9 figs, and as I've already went over, it'll be $270. So a far bigger set, a D2C set, and one, whether you want to call it a Master Builder series style set or a UCS style set for Lord of the Rings. Far bigger, far more pieces, and one that I was particularly wanting to grab on release day. And there's not tons of sets that I can safely say that I want to go out and grab on release day. And if you've seen my videos last year about inflation and price per piece, you'll know that I'm sort of moving ever so slightly away from it. Not totally away from it. It has to be something that I'm really wanting to grab a hold of. And in this case, the Shire was definitely one of those sets. And I found myself in a really interesting place, because when I thought this set would be £180 or $200, I was actually really engrossed in the idea of grabbing this set on release day. 2,000 pieces for £180. You get 9 minifigures. The Lord of the Rings sets, particularly over the last couple of years, have always looked pretty good. They always look immaculate. I mean, the Rivendell set might be one of the most beautiful Lego sets of all time. The issue that I had psychologically now is the fact that it's £240, £60 more. It feels not good value at all, and that is something that I've sort of been tussling with over the last year or so, particularly in these types of videos on the channel. It's a really interesting, of course, debate online, which is the fact that, oh, with inflation it would be X amount now, and I totally understand that, and I've used that example here today, that inflation does play a huge part in what these sets would look like compared to if you took an example from years ago. The issue is that I still believe we're being squeezed despite the fact that there is inflation there. I do think we are still getting squeezed, because it's not just the price per piece, it's the size of the, be it a ship in Star Wars or a build in another theme. With more pieces, you're allowed to create a sort of more robust build, and we'll be moving towards smaller pieces and lots of small pieces to create the same bigger pieces that we had years ago. So whilst the pieces are still at the same amount, we are technically using a lot more smaller pieces, and in things like the Arc 170, which I covered in January, you are getting a smaller build than you've had previously. So whilst I expect the Bargain Shire to be a big sort of Master Builder Series style set, I don't expect it to be wildly bigger than the previous sort of 2012 version, with a lot of bigger pieces in that 2012 set. And it of course sort of brings me to the idea of what is value. And I've previously said before that I believe that it's the good old-fashioned eye test with how much you are willing to pay for a set. And if you can look at that set, and there's a beautiful image that Lego have produced for this on their website, and say that I think that is worth £240 to pay, then that is what you should do with your money. And of course, it looks as though we're being incentivized with a Smeagol and Build gift with purchase to go with it, which, to be honest, does help in terms of my decision making with my money on release day. Similarly to how it was with that Luke's lightsaber last year with the sail barge, I think a really good gift with purchase does sort of encourage you to go out and get it on release day, rather than something that I've encouraged on the channel over the last couple of sort of over the last year, at least certainly the last couple of months, which is to go and wait for these items to end up on sale or on double points with a lot of sets. And it probably won't be the case with the Shire set, but a lot of sort of general release sets will end up at least 20% off with second party retailers after the 2 months is up. And for those that don't know, there's basically a rule in place with Lego that whether it's Walmart, Target, Smiths, wherever you are in the world, these types of second party shops, they can't offer more than 20% off on these items until the 2 months is up from a retail perspective, meaning that basically if you're going to pay full price, you might as well go and get it from the Lego store or from lego.com. And whilst this does seem like quite an expensive set at £240, if you wanted the original set from 2012, which is smaller, you would have to pay on eBay or Bricklink anywhere between £260 to £315 for a new in-box version of a 600-piece Shire. And that's, of course, without mentioning the obvious, which is, of course, that this is a Hobbit set and you wouldn't be getting any of these new Lord of the Rings minifigures. So there is, of course, merit to going out and just grabbing it, the Icons version, on release day in April. And that is something that I will probably do, despite the fact that I have made many videos about the price per piece problem. I do think that this is the kind of set that I will want to go out and grab on release day. Now, whether or not I sell the gift with purchase off and recoup the money and make it a less than £200 experience for myself, that is something that I'm undecided on and may well do. The sort of purpose of this video was more so to say, whilst I am looking at this from an inflation perspective and from a price per piece perspective, and I've kind of tussled with both over the last year or so, I think it's important to note that both these things can be correct. A lot of people try to shut down the idea that price per piece is irrelevant because of inflation, and inflation's irrelevant. There should be more pieces in the set. The pieces are smaller, we're getting smaller builds. It should be there shouldn't be as steep an inflation, but I think both things are present and both things are definitely relevant. And again, we're getting to a point where you either choose to buy these things that you want once they're on sale, or you believe with your eyes when you see it. You do the old-fashioned eye test. These things are worth my money on the day, the money that they want to charge for it. And that's the kind of where I'm at with this particular video. And I'm making this video off the back of the fact that we have just had the financial year records for Lego, and I haven't got the US dollar conversion to this, but the revenue has grown by 13% and the net profit is up by 5%, which is a multi-billion pound company as well. So we're not talking about they're up 100 grand or 200, they are up by millions and millions of pounds this year as a multi-billion pound company. So that is something that can be slightly hard to swallow when we're seeing inflated prices as well. I think that the way to get more initial sales potentially would be to look at maybe freezing these types of prices rather than thinking we're making so much money the way it is now, let's just keep on going, let's keep inflating prices because people are going to continue to buy it. Because I do sense that people are starting to cotton on to not only sales but the fact that, wow, Lego are making all this money and they're inflating the prices all the time, and it's getting steeper and steeper as a consumer to consume. So that's where I'm at with this particular set, and this is an on-running theme, and I will drop some thumbnails of videos that you can go and check out where I've talked about this previously, because I'd be really interested to see what your thoughts on this are. Do let me know in the comments below. Keep it kind, keep it respectful. I'd be really interested to see what people think about this situation and what your buying habits around Lego have turned into or are at the moment. For me, I've moved away from release day Lego generally. I think I've only bought one thing on release day this year, which is kind of remarkable, and that was on January the 1st. I bought a couple of things on January the 1st. But I haven't bought anything in February, which again, less stuff came out in February, and I didn't buy anything in March. There will be stuff that I buy on May the 1st because it's Star Wars Day, and that's something that I absolutely love, and that's something that we'll definitely end up buying new Lego Star Wars sets on Star Wars Day. But if I look back to last year, there was only once or twice that I actually physically turned up to a Lego store on release day. Literally only twice now that I think about it. I think even Star Wars Day I did from the comfort of my own home, and that will probably be the same again this year. I think that, as I've said in a previous video, I think people will start to move away from the going to a store on release day. We will see. It's an ever-changing market. More people are coming into the hobby, and people that have been in the hobby for a long time are starting to think maybe about how their buying habits have changed or will change over the course of time. So it is an ever-changing market, and it's one that I'm observing. This isn't a video with the solutions or the answers. This is just a video where I'm sort of verbally processing what I see going on and what I would sort of expect to see moving forward. And like I said, if you've got any thoughts on this, do drop it in the comments below. I'll be interested to see what everybody thinks about this particular situation. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much for watching, because it's literally been me talking for about 10 minutes. It's sincerely appreciated. We've just announced the new Whatnot streams for this weekend, the Enchanted Spring Disney Whatnot streams. We'll be covering Disney, Star Wars and Marvel in these two streams over the 15th of March. You can go and bookmark those shows already. You can go and get £10 free credit as well if you use the link in the bio, and make sure you're there. We're going to have an absolute blast. We're going to give away a ton of stuff. Go and check out the video where I talk about everything that we're giving away and all the fantastic figures and sets that you could walk away with. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the very next video or stream. Bye.